Picture this, you're hiking up a mountain. It's exhausting. You're sweating. But finally you reach this beautiful crystal clear lake at the top. Pristine water, surrounded by peaks. And then you see it, a fish jumps out of the water. You probably think, yeah, makes sense. Fish live in lakes. But here's the thing that'll blow your mind, that fish should not be there. High mountain lakes. They're born fishless. Completely empty. Glacier carved them out, waterfalls cut them off from rivers downstream. For thousands of years. No fish. Zero. Zilch. So how did they get there? Did they evolve legs and climb? Did aliens drop them? Well, ancient DNA just revealed the real answer. And it's way crazier than aliens. Let's go to the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France. There's a lake called Redon. Deep like 240 feet deep. And get this, there's a 330-foot waterfall blocking any river connection. Mathematically, physically, biologically, fish cannot get in. Yet today, that lake is packed with 60,000 brown trout. That's not a small population. That's a full-blown fish city. Historians always thought fish stocking started in the 1300s or 1400s. You know, medieval monks or kings throwing fish in lakes for food. Makes sense, right? Wrong. Scientists just drilled into the lakebed sediment, basically reading the poop and parasite DNA layers like a history book. And what they found changes everything. Fish parasites show up in the mud starting from, wait for it, the 7th century? That's 500 years earlier than we thought. While Europe was in the Dark Ages, while the Roman Empire was collapsing, someone was carrying fish up mountains. But who? And more importantly, why? So imagine being a farmer in the 600s Anno Domini. No Amazon Prime, no grocery stores. You're herding sheep in these high mountain pastures during summer. The grass is great, but you're hungry. Protein is hard to find. You look at this empty lake and think, what if? Archaeologists found sheep pastures from that exact period near Lake Redon. Late Roman and Visigothic shepherds were already up there with their flocks. These weren't kings or monks. These were ordinary shepherds playing ecosystem engineers. They literally carried live fish, probably in buckets or wet leaves, up steep mountain trails, past that 330-foot waterfall, and dumped them in. They created a self-replenishing fridge. Fresh protein waiting for them every summer. No refrigeration needed. No hunting required. These shepherds didn't just survive in the mountains. They terraformed them. Okay, so humans carried fish up mountains. That explains some lakes. But here's where it gets even weirder. What if I told you that rocks themselves can create new fish species? Without any human help? In the Appalachian Mountains, one of the oldest mountain ranges on Earth, there's this fish called the greenfin darter. Lives in specific streams. But here's the mystery, populations are totally isolated from each other. Genetically different. Like they've been separated for thousands of years. Scientists were confused. There's no dam. No waterfall. So what's the barrier? The barrier is sedimentary rock. See, these fish are picky. They only live over metamorphic rock, the hard stuff from ancient tectonic collisions. But as rivers erode through mountains over millions of years, they expose different rock layers. And when they hit sedimentary rock, the fish stop. They won't cross. It's like an invisible wall. Over time, erosion exposes more sedimentary rock. Populations get split again and again. And eventually, Boom! New species. The rocks literally sculpted evolution. But here's the twist. For some fish, erosion doesn't create barriers, it creates highways. Take the vermilion darter in Alabama. Endangered species, super rare. Lives only in streams over, you guessed it, carbonate rock. Millions of years ago, that rock was buried deep. But as rivers carved down through the mountains, they kept exposing more carbonate rock. For these fish, erosion didn't trap them. It expanded their kingdom. Every time the river cut deeper, new habitat appeared. Population spread, then got isolated on different tributaries, then evolved into slightly different versions. Same mountain range, same process, opposite outcomes. Some fish got trapped by rock. Others got liberated. The mountain is basically a species factory, and erosion is the machine. Now let's jump to modern times. California, Alameda Creek, largest tributary of San Francisco Bay. For decades, Chinook salmon and steelhead trout tried to swim upstream to spawn. But they kept hitting walls, literally. Concrete, pipes, old dams, for almost 60 years? Zero fish made it past a certain point. Biologists were losing hope. The steelhead population dropped to 10% of historic numbers. But this year? Something impossible happened. For the first time since the 1950s, salmon showed up in Niles Canyon. Then in Sunol. Swimming upstream like they owned the place. Why? Because after 20 years and $80 million, someone finally moved a pipeline. A Pacific Gas and Electric Company gas pipeline was blocking the way, covered in concrete. They relocated it, buried it under the riverbed. And just like that, the highway reopened. Eagles and otters are feasting again. The ecosystem is waking up. We spent $80 million to undo what we did for free a century ago. Sometimes progress means going backwards. But if you think moving a pipeline is crazy, wait till you hear what Taiwan just did. There's this fish called the Formosan landlocked salmon. Endemic, only found in Taiwan's mountain rivers. Super rare, super precious. But here's the problem, after typhoons and earthquakes, some upstream habitats are empty. And fish can't get there on their own because waterfalls. So what do? Build a ladder? Now. You call a helicopter. No joke, Taiwan just airlifted 240 juvenile salmon in special boxes, dangling under a helicopter, and dropped them directly into the upper creek. They flew over the mountains, lowered the boxes slowly, and released the fish into waters no salmon had touched in years. The official said, "This completes the final piece of the puzzle. We went from shepherds carrying fish in buckets 1,400 years ago to helicopter airlifts. Same mission, different technology." So here's what we've learned today. Mountains should be fish-free by nature. Waterfalls, isolation, rock barriers, everything says no fish allowed. But humans have been defying that for 1,400 years, maybe longer. Shepherds, conservationists, engineers, all moving fish where they don't belong. And when we don't move them, the mountains do it themselves. Eroding rocks, exposing new habitats, creating new species over millions of years. The craziest part? We're only beginning to understand. That Pyrenees lake? Scientists didn't find actual fish DNA in the mud. They found parasite DNA. The fish themselves decayed away, but their parasites stayed. We're tracking fish by the ghosts of their pests. And those Appalachian fish? Their entire evolutionary history is written in rock layers we're only now learning to read. Every lake, every stream, every fish has a story. And most of those stories? We haven't even opened the first page yet. You know, when you look at a mountain lake, it seems timeless, eternal, like it's always been there, exactly as it is. But that's the illusion. Mountains are moving, rocks are eroding, fish are traveling by fin, by bucket, or by helicopter. The question is, what else are we missing? If you want more stories that flip your perspective upside down about nature, history, and the hidden forces shaping our world, hit that subscribe. Because honestly, we're just getting started. And next time you see a fish in a mountain lake, you'll know the truth. It didn't just appear. Someone, or something, put it there.